Hi everyone. Good afternoon once again, and thank you for joining the 14th session of the Podium Tech Talk series organized by Agiata Digital Labs. This is where we explore the latest trends in the world of technology and digital transformation from our very own tech experts and the services that ADL provides. So, for today's session, we will focus on how businesses can apply cloud technology to minimize cost and improve efficiency. The topic that will be spoken on today will focus on how to get the best out of the cloud. In line for today's session, we've got a cloud engineering expert, Bindu Rathnayake, who will present on this topic. Bindu is a cloud professional with over 17 years of experience in operations and managed service. With a deep understanding of cloud operations and cloud governance, Bindu has honed his expertise in maximizing the potential of the cloud. Known for his insightful approach, he will be leading a session on how to get the best out of the cloud, where he will share his extensive knowledge and practical strategies to optimize cloud utilization and drive business success. Therefore, you guys are in good hands, and I will now be handing over the session to Bindu Rathnayake, who will unveil the secrets to unlocking the full potential of cloud technology. Over to you, Bindu.
Thank you, Tina. Let me share my video as well. Mm. Am I audible, Tina?
Yeah, all good, Bindu. Can hear and
Okay.
can see you.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining this podium session. Thank you to ADL team for giving me this opportunity to speak to all of you today. Today, I'm going to talk about how to maximize your cloud benefits. In other words, getting the best out of the cloud. I'm Bindu Rathnayake. I'm a cloud architect of the cloud team at ADL. So, in today's session, I will be talking briefly on the benefits of using the cloud, how to select the architecture to best suit your needs, and how you should think of improving your application to the changing demand. Also, I will be talking a bit about some tips on how to save your cloud cost and how to select the correct cloud service provider to match your need. I will let you know whether you should go directly with a cloud service provider or with a certified partner. At last, I'm going to wrap up the session by letting you know how ADL Cloud Team can support you in your cloud journey. As you know, I'm here to talk about about maximizing your cloud benefits, right? Why you need to talk about the benefits of using the cloud. Yeah. So this is the we need to understand these benefits in order to get the best out of the clouds. Things like faster time to market, increased agility, improved collaboration, reduced cost are a few of many of the benefits that you get using the cloud. Using the cloud native services, going to give you faster time to market in your application. Also, you do not want to put a lot of effort in redundancy, as most of the cloud native services do support them out of the box. Sharing and access control is part of the cloud service providers. Uh, as some of you may know, cloud service providers use the economy of scale to give us the low price where we cannot achieve if we have to do it by ourselves. So this is why the cloud is cost effective than running your load in the data center. For example, cloud service providers have massive data centers where they have invested so much money on optimizing the cost with related to the large scale operations like cooling the data centers to the optimizing of the hardware. So that way they are able to give you the best pricing in the market than you try to maintain a data center. So another main reason is the cloud service providers are capable of giving us costly solutions to small and large enterprises for a very reasonable price. Just to give you some examples, technologies like AI technologies, which I have listed here, like generative AI, LLMs, are accessible with cloud service providers to any user, right? Uh, some of the listed technologies here, what you can see, Amazon Lex, Google Bot, and Huawei QA Bot will help you build chatbots application with conversational AI, and it's very easy to do that. There are few of the services which will be very expensive if you are, if you are to develop single-handedly. And also, if you notice, cloud computing is also going to change the way we work, not only the way we develop apps. If you look at Code Whisperer and Duet AI from from Google, uh, you can use it to build applications faster and more securely. It's like having an AI coding companion to guide you through. So at ADL, we have a separate ADL AI team who are specialized in these technologies. So if you need further assistance, we can direct you to them. So this is a small example I want to give you related to this AI. Just to give an idea how AI can support you in learning a new language. In this example, I wanted to learn a bit of Flutter. Flutter is a new language for me. And I wanted to create a Hello World app using AI. I got the full code for my Hello World app, which has a text box and a button. And then I wanted to know how this code works. And I asked the AI to explain the code with comments. And here what you see in the left, the other side, the code with the comments. And it was very helpful for me to understand the flow of the application. You can try it out by yourself. It may not be 100% as per your requirement, but it's very interesting to see these technologies evolving in this way. Different cloud service providers will have different flavors and different outcomes. They might have different features when it comes to these AI technologies. So cloud technologies like these are going to change the way we work in the future. Moving forward, I'll be talking a bit about how to select the architecture to suit your need. This will be very important to get the best out of the cloud. Today, I'm going to talk about three different architectures: the cloud native, the cloud agnostic, and the cloud enabled. The cloud native is when you try to build your app using purely technologies provided by the cloud service provider. This will give you faster time to market, easier to scale. It will support redundancy with maximum effort, right? Also, it will give you better performance, and it's going to make it easier to maintain. most of the people, when they talk about cloud native, they are a bit reluctant to go in that route because they have that fear if they will be locked into one cloud service provider. Yes, there's a small risk, but when you're thinking about building your app and putting it to the market is the most important thing. This is the way to go. Also, if you have limited engineering resources, yes, this is also a good option. Cloud agnostic is where you build your application to support multi-cloud architecture. That means you can run your application in multiple clouds, or it can be running on the on-premise infrastructure and the cloud infrastructure as well. So using this architecture, you can leverage the benefits of both private and public clouds, achieving the balance between security control and scalability. So this architecture will be mostly taking advantage of open source technologies. Some drawbacks are you are going to be responsible in managing most of the services. And that means it's going to add up into the management cost. The word cloud enable will confuse some of you because that's a term that we use sometimes if the application can be moved into the cloud with a small tweak. But in this session, I'm going to refer it to applications where some of the components are going to reside in the traditional on-prem infrastructure and some of the components going to be residing in the cloud. This architecture is useful if you want to reduce the total cost of ownership. For example, you may be having an already running application in the on-prem infrastructure, and you want to have analytics capability to be built on it. In that case, you can send the data to the cloud and do the analytics part in the cloud, which is going to reduce the total cost of ownership. Also, it can improve it can improve the implementation time, and then it would be using the on-prem infrastructure, on-prem application which is running on the infrastructure. Few drawbacks is that if in this architecture, if you use this architecture, if the on-prem application is impacted, it is going to impact the component that running on the cloud as well. So that is one of the drawbacks. So selecting the right architecture to match your need will maximize the cloud benefits. Always you have to remember that you don't want to stick to one architecture. You can you have to understand that your application is going to evolve. You can start with cloud native, and if you want to move on to the cloud agnostic in the later stage, yes, you can do that. So to get the best out of the cloud, you can use the recommended architecture frameworks and tools provided by the cloud service provider. So what you see here are two recommended architectures, one from Google Cloud and one from AWS. Google Cloud, they call it the Google Cloud Architecture Framework, and AWS, they call it a well-architected framework. Each cloud service provider will have their own pillars, separate pillars, and if you follow their guidelines as per the given architecture frameworks and the guidelines, you will be able to come up with the best out of your cloud. Mainly, you have to do it at the stage of design phase of your application. If you have to check with the relevant architecture framework and see if your application is as per those given guidelines. Here, I have listed some cloud native DevOps tools you can use to get the best out of the cloud. Right? You can use them to reduce the DevOps effort. It's best to go with CSP recommended infrastructure as code. For example, uh, we have listed here AWS CloudFormation and GCP Deployment Manager. It's better to go with the CSP recommended infrastructure as code solution, or if you're going to go with a open source or any other solution, it's better to go with production grade support with those solutions. So these are some of the tools to get the best out of the cloud. Sometimes you need to extend the cloud capabilities to the edge locations. So listed here is Anthos. Lets you build your deployment, build your application in your data center or the edge location, right? So this is like have managed EKS solution, Kubernetes solution using Anthos. And EKS Anywhere, we all know Amazon EKS. EKS Anywhere lets you create and operate Kubernetes clusters on your own infrastructure. So this is also very similar to Anthos. EKS Anywhere do have two flavors. One is free version and the other one is premium version. Where in the free version, you can utilize that free of charge and use it to manage your on-prem infrastructure using EKS Anywhere. And it's going to reduce the management cost of managing a Kubernetes cluster. EKS Anywhere professional version will give you leverage. That means it will put data into the that means cluster related information into the cloud as well, and you can see the cluster related information in the AWS dashboard itself, like you would see any other EKS cluster. So they are in the process of improving this, and I'm hoping in the future that there will be a capability to manage the EKS Anywhere cluster from the admin panel itself. AWS Storage Gateway provides on-premise applications access to cloud-backed storage. So this is a one-way connection. That means all the any applications running in the data center can access cloud storage provided by AWS. So that they don't need to purchase new hardware to extend their storage. Outpost solution allows you to extend and run native AWS services on premise. And there are other services as well, like ITO Greengrass, which is open source edge solution, which runs in a Raspberry Pi kind of a thing. You can test out those things, as this is like more towards IoT side. The storage gateway and AWS Outpost, I don't think this is available as of now in Sri Lanka. Moving on, security of the cloud. So this is a very important topic with related to the architecture. While CSP manages the security of the cloud, security in the cloud is the responsibility of the customer, right? That means the user. Security command center can help you to give visibility to discover vulnerabilities, detect built-in security and risk management solutions. So this is a Google-based solution. In AWS, we have Security Hub to provide detective controls to help you monitor AWS environment. And Amazon Macy discuss, protect your S3 buckets if you have any sensitive data as such. And AWS Control Tower simplifies these, all these tools, AWS security related tools, by orchestrating all these tools on behalf of the users. So it's a one place where you can control all these AWS related security tools. In Huawei, you have a service called Cloud DI, and there are a lot more services as well. I just want to list down a few services. And you can keep an eye. This is also very similar to Security Command Center. So when you're developing an app, the most important thing is if you have an idea, don't wait. Always remember your application must evolve with the changing needs, right? So focus on getting the app to the market, right? So that's why we would need to utilize cloud service providers if you need to go to market faster. The cloud is the best way to do it. With time, your application, it may change the needs. That means you might need to adopt new features, or it may be a change in the need to accommodate the higher load. So for example, you can start with a SQS system in your application. Let's say you have a messaging requirement and you implement SQS system in your application. But with time, to accommodate more features, you may need to, publish those messages into multiple components. Then you might need to go for a pub sub service. Or it might be related to something like you might start with the SQS and you need to increase the throughput. So depending on the use case and the requirements, you can consider Kinesis to handle larger volumes. So most cloud service providers have similar services like this with a little bit of tweak in the change in features to handle higher capacity or slightly different use cases. So to get the maximum out of the cloud services, you need to understand and to utilize these different services to match your application's changing needs. Let's talk a bit about how to save the cloud cost. So this is the topic everyone is eager to listen to, right? Always right size your resources. You may not be able to do it at the first launch of your application. Monitoring is the key for right sizing. You need to monitor it from the application level. Use reserved instances whenever possible. If there's a workload that will be running continuously, always go for reserved instance. If you can predict up to 3 years that the application is going to utilize these resources, go for it. The higher the number of years you reserve, the bigger the benefit. And the other side of the story is to use spot instances. If your application is going to run for a small time, for example, like stateless fault-tolerant kind of workloads. In other words, if that application is okay to stop the processing of their workload in the middle of processing it, you can go for spot instances. So the saving is going to be very high. It can go up to discounts up to 90% with spot instances. Also, there are other cost saving features. If you are going to going through a partner of your cloud service provider, you can talk to them and get advice what sort of cost saving features available for your cloud service provider. For example, some cloud service providers will give you reduced cost when you use a certain type of CPU for your VM, or they might give you a better rate on a certain technology they are they are better at. One example is that AWS and GCP, they do have their own CPU ranges that will give lower rates, and you can check with the relevant cloud service provider and go with those CPUs to get reduced cost savings. So I hope using this tip will help you to maximize the cloud service providers and to save the cost in the cloud. And so this is a very important topic. Before you go to the cloud, you need to select the cloud service provider, the right cloud service provider. When selecting the right cloud service provider, you need to consider the scalability, elasticity, security, performance, and reliability. So these are, main things you need to look into. Always check that your application tech stack is going to be aligned with the services that's provided by the cloud service provider. Check how well they integrate with your, cloud service providers tech stack services. For example, if your application is going to utilize Microsoft SQL Server, it's better to go with Azure. And if your application is going to utilize a specific language translation API or something, and if that specific language, the cloud service provider is going to give a better accuracy, a specific cloud service provider is going to give you better accuracy, then you can consider that aspect to go with that cloud service provider. So there are, price differences between certain cloud service providers for certain technologies. You have to consider that as well. Always check the cloud service providers offerings, also the geographical regions, the availabilities, and all those things as well. So the question, should you work with the cloud service provider directly? Will sound obvious to say yes for most people, but if you evaluate your situation and the benefits of going with the partner of your cloud service provider, you will have a different answer. If you go with the cloud service provider directly, they will not provide professional services. Also, you will be one out of millions of customers. The experience of the CSP partner are going to help you in making decisions. And their experience in security governance is going to help you out. So there's not going to be any difference in on the services you're going to get through the cloud service provider if you go with a cloud service provider's partner. The only change is going to be in the billing, where if you go directly to the cloud service provider, you will be paying the bill directly to the CSP. But if you go with the CSP partner, you will be paying him, and he will be doing the settlement to the CSP. So CSP partner will have flexible payment schemes. Your account ownership will remain with you. So it is not going to be any change on the ownership of the account. You can check with your CSP partner on flexible payment schemes. What are the available schemes they have? It will be the account ownership will not change. It will be with you. And if you're a C-level manager in your company, the partner will give you a leverage in making decisions, and it will look good on your on you in front of your boss. So how ADL can help you in the cloud journey? So ADL is an authorized reseller, a partner of AWS, GCP, and Huawei. Cloud professional service, we provide cloud software professional services. Also, we have automated tools developed to improve the cloud FinOps side. Also, we provide cloud security services. Also, we can help you with your requirement to cloud engineering resources also. So ADL, we have a big engineering resources, and we have a good number of certified engineers. We have to maintain these numbers to maintain the partnerships, and we are a partner of AWS. We are a resell partner, also cloud partner and authorized reseller for AWS. And Huawei, we are a resell partner and consulting partner and technology partner as well. And GCP, we are an authorized reseller as well as Google Cloud Premier partner. So these are the partnerships we have. Through the partnerships, we work with those cloud service providers and try to gain, try to implement solutions and help our customers and help ADL teams to implement solutions in those with those CSPs. For example, we have come across situations where we talk to the cloud service providers and to come up with new APIs or new services to match our requirements. So one instance, we have worked with Huawei, and we got some new APIs, beta APIs to fulfill one of our applications requirement. And also right now we are working with AWS as well on some beta APIs to fulfill our application development requirements. So rather than going with directly with the cloud service provider, it's better to go with a partner. So that way you can get a lot done through the cloud service provider. So these are the professional services at ADL we provide from the cloud front. We help you to implement cloud native tools, cloud native applications. We can give you advice on that. Cloud advisory service is part of our offerings. And we do cloud migrations. Also, we do cloud operations. We do develop cloud tools to monitor the cloud consumption and forecasting to optimize the cloud utilization. Also, we do provide cloud-related security services as consultation. Also, we do provide control tower-based landing zone, governance model implementations, all those kind of things. So that's it for the today's session. Thank you everyone for listening. Tina, I think you can take over.
Yeah, thank you for that very educational session. So this session will be open for any questions now. If you guys have any questions regarding the topic, please drop them in the comment section so that Bindu will be able to address those questions and give you a response. So we'll wait a few minutes. If you have any questions, now would be the time to drop them in the comment section. Bindu, can you see the question that has been put up in the
Yes.
comment section?
Uh,
Okay, could you please?
So, Asiata, of course, we are engaged in Asiata group in few projects, and cost optimization. If they come to if any of OPPO comes to ADL and request for any advice on the cost optimizations, yes, we can provide you this service, no problem. Also, we are, having some initiatives with the group level as well to have a, integrated level cloud consumption level information. Yes, if you want, you can contact us through the channel that is provided and get more further details. So there's another question, how to calculate the cost of one running VM instance. So on this one, it totally depends. So if you're only going to consider about the VM, and if you're not going to consider about any other like ALBs or anything, you can go to the TCO calculators. Every cloud service provider has their own TCO calculator. Go to the TCO calculator and put on these information, especially the VM related information, and also the you have to consider the data inbound and outbound, and if you need to expose it to the outside, you need to consider about the public IPs and all those things. So all these things will add up when you're doing the TCO calculation. You need to consider all those aspects, not only the VM. Sometimes people forget about the data cost as well. You need to consider about those things as well.
I think there's one more question.
Yeah, so is there any benefits, cost benefits subscribing via partner or direct subscription, right? Yes, there are, but you need to talk with the partner and try to get that. It's not a flat case. You need, if you can bring up a good business case. Yes, you can gain some cost benefits as well. Yeah. So the next question is also very similar to the previous one. So yes, in the reseller model, there can be cost benefits as I told. You need to come to ADL, and if you can show you have a good business case, we can give you a good offer. So there's another question. So how the question is, how can you know which cloud discount is right for you, right for your organization? So getting a discount here, the word discount is a very vast area, covering a very vast area. So normally you don't get direct discounts unless you're a partner. Uh, you get discounts through reserved instance and stuff like that. There are situations that you get discounts for direct customers as well. But mostly you need to consider about the reserved instances, and there are like commitment discounts as well. So when you're going with commitment discounts, it's better you consult a, cloud service partner to get the best out of it, because you have to be careful when giving a commitment discount, uh, getting a commitment discount, because it can go wrong as well. So the best savings plan, I cannot say this is the best savings plan. So it depends, totally depends on the use case. If you need any advice on saving your cloud cost, you can contact us and we can do an evaluation and help you out on getting the best savings plan for you. So when it comes to optimizations from API side, uh, that is part that you need to consider from the application side. For example, if you are using the APIs for distance matrix or something like that, you need to consider optimizing those API utilization from the application side. Or from the cloud service provider side, what we can do is, if you have a good utilization, we can come up with a better pricing. If we can talk with the CSP, there are situations we can get better pricing if you have a good business case.
I think that's about it now with the questions. So we'll wrap up the Q&A session now. There's another question I think coming in.
Mm, It's not a bit clear, savings plan option or reserved instance, right? So yeah. So in this one, to go for savings plan option or reserved instance, yes, that you need to analyze your workload and decide against the percentage, the discount percentage you are getting. That depends, right? So if, for example, if you are using varying workloads, for example, if it is e-case or something, you can't go for reserved instance, right? So you need to go for a savings plan. So depending on your workload, for example, if it is running on VMs and if the VM is going to run continuously, yes, you need to consider that aspect. And also it totally depends on the commitment, plan. Also, if you can go for 1 year, 3 year commitment plans, and also reserved instance, also you can go for, different years of reserved instances, and upfront and partial upfront and those kind of options are available. Depending on this option you select, the percentage is going to be vary. So you have to consider that as well. And to my knowledge, reserved is, if you have a reserved instance and if you get a discount, on top of that discount you get that is on top of that discount, I think you are getting the savings plan as well. Yeah.
Does anyone have any other questions? We give it like 1 minute more if anyone has any questions. So I think that's about it with the questions now. On behalf of the entire audience, Bindu, I would like to express my gratitude for your exceptional session on the benefits of using the cloud. I think I speak for all of us when I say your insights and practical tips have equipped us with invaluable knowledge. So thank you for sharing your expertise, and we look forward to more enlightening sessions from you in the future. And I think we can wrap this session up now. So thank you everyone for joining, and we hope to see you in a future session. So thank you.